So it's almost a new year at this point, but the crusade continuing against completely irresponsible chiropractors never stops. Because today we're going to look at Canada. Some of these examples have been provided by a Twitter page called Health Watch, and some of these examples are from different parts of Canada, but they all have one thing in common. This is chiropractors basically claiming stuff they can't back up. You've got one chiropractor claiming that regular chiropractic adjustments can help you stop heart attacks. No, there is no evidence of that. In fact, there is the exact opposite evidence of that, in fact. You have another chiropractor claiming that a frozen lemon basically placed on top of a tumour area of cancer is more powerful and more effective than chemotherapy. Yeah. You then also got another chiropractor who claims that eating garlic can destroy cancer. Again, no proof that it does. So, if you're in Canada, unfortunately I am not, because I tell you this. What you need to do is you need to find out who the regulatory body of Canada is. Now, I've looked it up, and there is a licensing and exam board, but according to it, it's done at the actual regulatory itself is done at the state and territorial level. Again, I'm not too familiar with how things work in Canada, so it looks like that each territory might have its own regulator. Now, I've said countless times that if we're going to get rid of these idiot chiropractors, the first thing we need to do is we need to strike at their regulatory bodies, not at the chiropractors themselves. Because what we need to do is we need to show that these chiropractors are completely incapable of regulating themselves, because that has been their plan all along. We will self-regulate ourselves, and then if any sort of serious complaints come against us, then, you know, we can sweep it under the rug, or we can, you know, just keep it quiet, or we can act tough and then, you know, give them the license back in a couple of months. So what you need to do is you need to, again, look at what your chiropractor is saying, screenshot it, find out who their regulatory body is, and then make a complaint with their regulatory body. Because what they are doing is completely wrong. It's absolutely unethical for them to do this. So, and that's what you should make your claim, that what they are claiming is unethical when you do make your complaint. Point out that what they are doing is unethical, and have a look at their rules, particularly when they're doing this. Another chiropractor also comes from Health Watch, the Twitter page, is also making claims about anti-vax stuff as well. So key on to these people on what they're saying, and make sure you screenshot it, and then, you know, go through their other Twitter page and their other Facebook page, because these chiropractors are not secret about keeping some of their crazy beliefs secret, and then send it to the regulator. Tell them that this guy, this chiropractor, is being completely unethical. He should not be making the anti-vax claims. He should not be making these ridiculously outlandish claims. And when you make these complaints, make sure to follow them up. Keep a close eye and see what happens, because what you need to do is just phase one. So report them to the board. Keep an eye out what happens to them and what their punishment is. Because what you need to do to end chiropractors completely is take away, is show to your government, or indeed in case in Canada, your state infrastructure. Again, I'm not sure completely how it works in Canada, but make sure that when you are ready to go to that level, that you can show that the regulatory body for chiropractors that is currently in your state is not fit for purpose, and that it needs to either A, be completely reformed, and I mean completely by the fact that you remove all chiropractors from the regulatory board completely. Because as I've shown from the UK chiropractors, there was not a single actual qualified doctor on that board. There was a nurse, but I wouldn't say she had any, like, shall we say, proper, GP level of training. And again, I'm not having a go at dig against nurses, but from her background, she was not really qualified to comment on some of these things, some of the ethical issues, some of the, medical negligence or, medical damage caused by chiropractors, because these will go through the board. And as has been stated numerous times, particularly in the examples of the States where these chiropractors have gotten their regulatory bodies put in place, they fill them full of chiropractors, and they do not care about looking after the patients. Because the regulatory bodies, first thing and foremost, should be about protecting the safety of the patient first, chiropractor second. And the patient needs to be leagues ahead. So you need to show that the board itself is putting the interests of chiropractors ahead of patient safety. And when you do that, then your state and local government can actually take charge and actually go, okay, we need to reform this. We need to go, now you need to have like certain actual medical doctors sitting on your board, and they need to be in a majority, not a minority, a majority of people who are in charge of regulating on this board and overlooking the chiropractors. Because this will then cause, I guarantee you, this will then cause another revolution, which leads on to step 2. When the actual doctors are regulating the chiropractors and saying, okay, this is medically unethical, what he did was completely wrong, he should have sent them to a doctor immediately, should have immediately called an ambulance, he shouldn't have even touched that patient, then the doctors will then start to tell the government these chiropractors are out of control and they need to be stopped eventually, and that is how you will change things. So go and report, my lovelies.